Hey guys, what's up? It's iDestiny. So this is kind of, I don't know, like one of those videos where I just kind of want to be open and kind of talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on. So I stopped doing live shows for probably about the past like 5 months or so, like 5 or 6 months. This was a decision that I personally made just because, so I feel like in the music industry for the past couple of years and even for the past couple of decades, the way that you kind of get yourself out there and your brand and your music and all that kind of stuff is to kind of do shows until you collapse. Like you go from city to city to city or venue to venue to venue and just consistently do shows and put your music out there and hope to kind of gain fans along the way and building, you know, a list of people that, you know, really like you and love your music and that sort of thing. However, this is LA. That being said, LA is not the most, and just really hear me out. I've lived here for my whole life. I was born here. I've, you know, always lived on the west side. I've always lived pretty much in LA and various other counties surrounding that my entire life. LA is not the most creative place. It's very much, you know, kind of like a popularity contest. Like, you know, if you're doing something that somebody else is doing and you're doing it well, you know, people kind of jump on the bandwagon. So that means if I'm coming up with my music and I want to be the next Beyonce or Rihanna or whatever, and I'm on stage and I'm wearing the same little bodysuit and I'm dancing and singing and all that kind of stuff, people flock to that and kind of, you kind of gain a lot of attention being like the next up and coming whatever. Also with a lot of the, you know, record labels being out here, they're kind of desperate for that next, you know, new thing, and they're trying to sign people that are like artists that are already out. So the people that really get a lot of the attention and are booking the shows and the kind of way that they tailor the shows out here, like certain venues, is towards artists like that. So it's like if you're creating very radio, like, so, you know, those pop R&B tracks, those rock pop tracks and stuff that's very, you know, popular and catchy and that sort of thing. In LA, it's like people just flock to that. They, you know, they like to hear things that they've already heard before, and they kind of like beat the dead horse. Like, okay, we get it. This same song sounds like the one that you played on the radio 2 days ago sounds like the same one you played on the radio last week. So that being said, here comes me. I had been doing live shows pretty consistently for the past couple of years. And I noticed something like immediately between me and a lot of the other artists that would be performing. So I would go into a venue, I'd, you know, get set up, do my little sound check or whatever, and a lot of the other artists, the large majority of them, were very much like R&B, hip hop, pop, rock. Like within that, those are very, very broad genres to begin with, but it was always very like radio play type records. So they'd be on stage, you know, jumping and singing and dancing, and there's dancers and there's glitter and there's bodysuits and there's, you know, it's like this whole ordeal, and it's very upbeat music, and, you know, people are walking around the venue with their drinks, and it's like half of them aren't paying attention, but they're dancing and grooving and that sort of thing. Then here comes me. I get on stage and I have my drummer playing cajon, and then I have my other girl over here playing either guitar or keyboard, and it's like I have instruments on stage. I got instruments that people have never seen in their life, and then I'm over here singing, and my voice is kind of like eclectic jazzy-ish, and we're doing songs with just instruments and, you know, sometimes a backing track, and people would just look at us like we were freaking aliens or something. Like, oh, what's going on here? Like, this is different, this is new. And I felt like we would always get this like deer in the headlights look anytime we would perform at different venues in LA, just because we would get booked and we'd always be the one act that was like totally different from what everybody else did. Not saying what they were doing was bad or that we were better or anything like that. Like, we were all up and coming people. We were all learning, growing in our performance abilities, learning stage presence, learning to interact with the audience. But what I was doing was like totally not what anybody else was doing. So because of that, one thing that you have to realize is that when these people would come and perform, they would bring their audiences with them. So they would have their fan bases come out, you know, their friends, their family, whoever. I would have friends or family or whoever come out. And so the majority of the audience was there to see those really, really hype acts. They were there to dance and get their life and, you know, have a good time, like party. And that's what those acts were really, really giving them. So when I would show up with my band and we would perform, we would just kind of get like this, okay, like that was cool, that was interesting, but that's not what I'm looking for. Like, people are drunk, people are, you know, trying to have a good time. So after years of doing that, I just really had to sit there and think and evaluate, and was like, okay, what are artists like me or similar to what I'm trying to do doing? And a lot of them, it's just like they don't do a bunch of shows. First of all, they're finding venues that really cater to that type of music, but then also a lot of the stuff that they're doing is online. A lot of the things that they're doing are video, and, you know, just really cool collaborative projects. They're collaborating with other people in the industry, fashion industries, they're collaborating with the textile industry, and just really doing cool things that are kind of underground. And people that are drawn to that kind of music, they're kind of in that realm. They love to kind of dig deep and find new music that nobody else has really heard, and really cater to that and love it. And so I had to step back and say, okay, you know I'm in LA, but LA really does cater to those more mainstream type artists, and that's not really the artist that I am. So I really have to find those like little pockets here or there that really cater to what I do. And they're here in LA, but they're very underground, they're very exclusive, they kind of do their own thing, and don't really connect with a lot of the more mainstream events and venues and stuff like that. So I kind of slowed down on going to events that really didn't cater to my type of art form. I'll just put it that way. So that's kind of the main reason why I decided to take a step back and to stop doing live shows for a while and just really focus on my music and my branding and really what I wanted to do, because for such a long time I was networking in so many different spaces, just really trying to get myself out there, really trying to network and meet cool people who would be interested in what I was doing. And I noticed that, you know, people would compliment it and be like, wow, like this is really cool, you know, you're doing something slightly different, like this is, you know, whatever. Like, I'd get compliments, but people just never really knew what to do with me or how to, you know, use me in the different spaces that they had, which is totally fine. You know, I don't blame them at all. But, you know, I'm just really looking at myself and realizing, you know, as an artist, what needs to happen for me to get to where I need to go. And it's not doing live shows at these like rambunctious venues with other artists that are nothing similar to me, because that's not what the people came for, and you got to give the people what they came for. So yeah, for those of you that are artists out there, I know the struggle is real. I know some of you might be dealing with the same thing, or maybe you're just realizing like, I haven't really, you know, you haven't really gotten where you need to go yet, and you really haven't connected and met the right people to kind of help you get there. And that's kind of where I was at the top of this year and kind of the end of last year. So that being said, my song is almost done. You know, we're crossing our fingers. I've been saving it for my music video, and I really just want to do things 100% my way, creative directing it, hand-picking, you know, dancers and all that sort of thing. I really want to make sure that it's 100% authentically me, and not sell myself short because of kind of what's out or what's popping now or whatever. Let me know your thoughts, comment below, subscribe, and yeah, it's kind of my rant for the day. So like this video if you want to see more. I'll be posting more as usual. Make sure to do well and be well, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.